Given the fact that we have an endless treasure of wisdom and the unbeatable power of the Holy Spirit deep down in our souls, why is it that many of us have trouble eating right? And why do we often succumb to repetitive mental cycles and hurdles time and time again? Now, yes, some of these habits, they may have generational origins, but most are simply the result of our own personal choices. What is keeping you and I from living a balanced life? Is it a lack of inspiration? Or do we simply not want the life that God says is possible for us? Do we not believe God in the area of our health and well-being? Now, we talked about having access to the Holy Spirit, right? Now, I've learned from experience that being filled with the Holy Spirit provides no benefit to you spiritually if you don't believe that God's way is the best way. So before we proceed and go any further tonight, we need to decide if we truly believe that God's way works. Some of us are spiritual giants, but we are living in physically diminished lives because we refuse to address our physical well-being. I love y'all, but this is going to be tough tonight. It has been difficult for us to run effectively for God due to our bad diets and poor exercise. Now, we've become weary on this journey, not because of the toil and the work of following Jesus, but because we're physically out of shape. We get tired way too quickly. Some of us, my apologies, God, he doesn't just want us to run, but to run well. Tell your neighbor, you have the grace to run well. Tell your neighbor again, you have the grace to run well. So God is calling us to be better stewards of our bodies, and it starts with what we eat. Some of us know that pork and red meat mess us up. Hey, listen, he hit me first. All right. So we know that it messes us up, and yet we continue to consume it after we've prayed for our food. All right. So the body that God has given us is telling us that a change is needed today, and yet we'll choose immediate gratification that is slowly delaying our impact and effectiveness. This is the weight that we've chosen to trip us up day after day, week after week, year after year. Now, it's interesting in Hebrews 12:1 that it identifies the weight and sin as things that easily trip us up. Our bad eating habits are things that we refuse to let go of. So tell your neighbor, say, neighbor, it's time to lay it aside.